Hello everyone, welcome back. It's UnkleDestiny here with you, and it's time for our reading for the month of July. So the summer solstice has come, and we're now in the new season of the summer and the energies that are associated with it. Soon, for those of us here in the United States, we'll be having the 4th of July, which celebrates the independence of the country. And I know on the 14th, and those of you in France, will be celebrating Bastille Day. But either way, we're going to be dealing a lot with some celebrations, and of course the elements of independence, and elements of the change that comes in our lives with these months and within the summer. Because summer is a time of a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of growth. So we're going to see what the ancestors have to say for the month of July and how it plays out for us. So hopefully you found June to be useful, and we're able to focus on the details of June and to get things set up for whatever's coming in July. So I want to remind you that this is a general reading and it goes to everybody. So more specific, that requires a different type of reading style. So if you want to contact me below. Otherwise, I hope the video works for you. So let's get the ancestors in and see what they have to say. Alrighty. Well, we have quite a number going off the board this time, including at least 2 of our main bones, as well as our crystal piece, and looks like including the copper. So that tells us that this time does not have a lot of energy coming in from the spirits and connection, and it's also not about memory. So it's an entirely different time period here. So what do we have, and which bone is our prominent source here? So what I'm seeing with this one, you could call it work, but I also would say it's connected to purpose, existence in a way. What do you define yourself as being your purpose here? What are you working to? Have you connected your work and your purpose together? Are they one and the same, or are they different? But it's all going to be very much in this next month about finding that relationship. Does your purpose and your work together, or are they counter to each other? And we have the 2 small support bones here. One is from the tail, the other, both of them are from the spinal and the tail. So in doing so, it's also a question of finding the balance between those 2 and those aspects. So as we move into these bones here, it sort of creates a kind of a wall almost, or at least a fence. And with a good fence, you can see what's on the other side. But it does block you from moving forward. And the question being is, can you figure out whether you want to be on that other side of that fence? Does it really hold something that's of interest for you? And if so, can you move where we have this gap here, which I'm going to say is like a gate? Can you find this gate that allow you to move to the other side of the fence? And what lies there too on the other side is this bone here, which is top of the spinal cord, but also reminds me of the pelvic bone. So it's about the gateways into thought, but also into our root and the ability to birth. So it's about figuring out whether what's on the other side of the wall, whatever on the other side of the fence, is what you want to birth and create. Now, it's going to require a certain amount of intellect for it, but it's also going to require a certain amount of effort and pain and the things that are naturally associated with birth, the labor pains, if you will. Something can be birthed, something can be started in this next month, but it's going to be around your work and your purpose. Now we do have some of the rib bones, especially the broken one, sticking through the fence. So it's providing a certain amount of ability for you to see through, but it's sticking its way through with a sharp end, so it's piercing it. there's a bit of aggravation involved in it. Now you can get hung up on that point, but can you get past it? That's one of the bigger points. The ability to get past anger and get past aggravation and to see potentials beyond that is something that we have to develop, but it also requires us to take a certain amount of control. And this too gets into having the intellect in control more so than our destructive ego. So we need healthy ego and destructive ego. And healthy ego is what's going to help us get to the gate and through onto the other side. Now some of our other outlying bones, we have the other half of this fractured rib bone over here. This one tells me that there is a bit of discord that is still on the horizon, a matter that you still need to deal with. But the way and where it's positioned is that it's still at a distance. And that matter may need to stay at a distance for a while, but you will at some point and somewhere in the future have to address it. Now these bones over here is also more about the potential for August. Again, much more support, much more structure, much more of your needs getting met. An opportunity is coming, and it's going to form much later in the month, so you're going to be looking at it towards the end of July. We have this little one over here that's closer to our purpose, our primary bone, and this one's, it's an outlier. And it could come through this little smaller opening over here. Because you've got two openings in this fence, a very small one over here, but a much wider one here. And if you really want to take this smaller opening, you're going to have to recognize it's going to take some constraints. It's going to take letting go of certain things, because you're not going to be able to get everything through. The best way I could describe it is the aspect, you ever played with Chinese finger puzzles? The trick with them is that if you push in, it causes things to relax. But if you continue to pull your fingers apart, it tightens up and it's not going to go through. This gap here is very similar to that. If you try to get in, pull your hand through that hole with a fist, holding on to something, you're not going to get through. You have to let go to be able to get through that tiny opening. As opposed to the larger one, which allows you to take whatever you're carrying through with you. So, one of the outliers is actually understanding is what are you carrying with you in this work and purpose aspect, and do you really need to keep it? Can you let go of it? And if you can let go of it, you can get through this smaller opening, which is much closer than the bigger opening on the other side. And of course, that side you don't have to deal with the sharp bone that's coming through. So, that's about what the ancestors have for us for the month of July. Tune back in and see what what the ancestors have to say for the month of August as we move heading towards fall. So, this is Uncle Destiny, and on behalf of the ancestors and the spirits, may you have a blessed summer and enjoy the day.